Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures. Today I'm going to take a look at a few of Artisan Guild's Dragonguard that I had a chance to actually print before things took a turn for the worst on my printer. Thankfully, I did get in touch with Frozen and they seem to be having conflicting confirmations as to what the issue is, but they seem to be all cool with sending me the replacement parts that we need. So hopefully we will have some nicer prints that are coming out in one piece and not a mangled mess in the near future. So I took a gamble trying to get these printed up, but the Dragonguard, I believe, were November's release on the Artisan Guild Patreon when they were still doing votes on a monthly basis. Thankfully, they've stopped doing that because that way it lets them do whatever they feel like. I want to say, was this supposed to be a female one? As with all Artisan Guild releases, hopefully yours are going to come out a lot nicer than mine. About the time I printed this guy was when I was really running out of cleaner solution for the models. You can see this one looks a little bit nicer. Anyways, they are pretty modular. Most of them obviously have both of their hands. All of those are compatible, except for a few rare cases, and we'll look at one of those. But the neat thing about these models, as well as having all the usual bases, modular weapons, and hands, was they actually had a slot on some of the models, not these two because these are the spellcaster ones, to also include a tail. Here's another model right here, but you can see there's kind of an empty spot here, so it's actually a separate piece if you wanted, or I guess if you wanted to go ahead in like Blender or Mesh Mixer and just attach the tail and then, you know, support it that way, that was also a possibility. So we had the models basically designed between, you know, kind of fighter types and spellcaster types, and there were a variety of options available for both of those. Before even getting into all the fun stuff, like the guy riding on the Wyvern or the Dracolith dragon riding cavalry guys they have. So here we have like a magic staff with accompanying spell effects. Two magic staffs. Oh, okay. I was like, why do I have two? One's got a hand holding it, and then the other's just like the generic modular one if you want to strap it to somebody's back. Magic spell book with spells coming off of it. Of course, you can obviously, you know, mirror these and flip them around so you can have posing whichever way you want. Flaming hands. Empty hands. And an assortment of blades and shields and whatnot. Kind of dragon emblem face on it there. Again, it's going to help when I get these primed and sprayed so you can see them better. And then we got one of the hero models. Again, you can see he really didn't come out good. Again, that's 100% on me. But I think it was salvageable enough that we can go ahead. Once he is primed, it should be okay. This model in particular, the reason I said that most of the hands are compatible, you can see he is a little bit larger, so like a regular shield for them doesn't really fit. He has his own special hands with these big scimitar blades, if I could hold them on. So he's supposed to be dual wielding. Sadly, he did not have a mounted option. I tried talking them into it, but no, he's too big as it is. So he's supposed to be like that. And again, using a regular one, you can see the hand size difference. It just doesn't fit. You can obviously scale it down. That's always an option with these, but he is a bit larger than the other models. And I didn't even have a chance to print out the pinups or the cavalry or the scenic elements or the bases. This is all we were able to manage before things just sputtered out in a very sad display of crazy resin pyrotechnics. Need I remind you? Bleh. We'll salvage that somehow someday. So anyway, I'm going to get these built up, and hopefully they will turn out with some primer on them to be salvageable prints, because otherwise they look pretty decent. So sit tight. We'll see how they look. All right, so we went ahead, we primed and glued together our Dragonkin or Dragonborn or whatever we're going to call him, and despite my printer being obnoxious at the time when I printed these, I gotta say the results look pretty decent. Now, first of all, these guys are big. I want to say this is a 30mm base, and he barely fits on it. Maybe it's a 25. Okay, yeah, that's 25 because this is a 32 for our wizard friend here. I definitely would recommend putting them on bigger bases. They're not going to work. This one's on a 32 millimeter base here. They just have too much movement, too much space being taken up for them to fit on a regular size base. Now, as always, giving you guys a good indicator of size, they're going to be big. So keep that in mind. If you want to tweak them and shrink them, I'd say maybe like 70, maybe like 79, 80, 82%. Probably will get you in the ballpark of where you need to be if you want them to match up with everything. I mean, as is, I think they're going to be a pretty good match for stuff from Conquest. Then again, for me personally, I like the bigger models. Easier to paint as I get older, unfortunately. I'm grabbing an actual Artisan Guild human here. Even then, they are a bit bigger, but I would expect that with Dragonborn, Dragonkin, whatever you want to call them. It does seem like they should be a little bit bigger than a human. Grabbing our big dude as well. Now this guy, you can see the face just did not come out right on the printer, but I figure if it's good enough, I can just, it's already almost 90% decent. We'll just roll with it and see if I can rescue it. He's even bigger. I mean, he's on a 40 millimeter base. Just for size reference, I've got one of the kobolds that Artisan Guild put out. So there at least is some uniformity in terms of how they're scaling with their own figures. Oh, I don't know where to put my Tiger Champion dude. Oh well. So yeah, definitely a fun kit, but I could say that about almost every release at this point that Artisan Guild's put out. I mean, if you back it through Kickstarter, if you back it through Patreon, you know, you get all kinds of goodies. They've got all the little scenery props, the modular weapons, a pinup. Now they've got cavalry options. They've got a big epic size hero like this one. They've got a big giant mounted boss dude as well. Like in this case, they had a dude on a wyvern. You know, they had the guy on the scorpion for the cats. There's just been a ton of stuff, and it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon. So even if you missed out on the monthly release, don't forget that with all the sales going on places like My Mini Factory, there is a good chance that you'll be able to get them for a very reasonable price in the future. So perseverance is key here, and you will always be able to get what you want. So, you know, hold on, hold tight. Don't spend as much as you possibly, you know, can afford to. Let's print wisely and frugally, I guess. With that said, we'll put a link down below to both Artisan Guild's My Mini Factory page and their Patreon account, so you guys can check out what the most current options happening are going on right now. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.